All right, this is our garden, Victory Garden meeting for December 17th, 2020. I'm calling the meeting to order, and we'll begin with the approval of the minutes from November of 2020. Chris, thank you again for sending us the minutes. And if anyone has anything that they need to bring up about the minutes?
I think they were okay.
No? Okay. All right.
So I approve,
So-
I approve, motion to approve. Anyone want to second it?
Second?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Glenn. Glenn can second our approval of the minutes. So the November minutes are approved. We have a couple of communication items. I have just a quick note about the ramp project. The young man who's working on the ramp project for Eagle, Craig, he is working on it. He's also working on, school. So he definitely got a little bogged down, but he said, don't worry, I'm working on it. So I totally understand where he's coming from because school's not easy this year. So I'm sure we'll hear more from him in the spring. So I didn't even put that on updates because there's not much more I can say about it. We did have a member who emailed me in November that the produce that she had in her bed was taken from her bed after we removed the locks, and she requested that we keep the locks on. Maybe through December, if it's possible, through the Thanksgiving holiday at least. And I said, we could probably do that. I mean, barring any like serious ice and snow, the lock should be okay. I don't know if anyone has any comments about that, because I do want to get comments, because we're talking about the time of year when things start to frost out. But she has said in the last year, she also had produce taken from her bed after the holiday, and she is nearish the gate. She's not too far in. So does anyone have any thoughts about if we left the locks on, would it really be a pain if it gets cold, frozen, wet?
I think we may want to put something temporary during when it starts getting later in the season, if we leave it on, so that the lock is actually in a little cover. We can make a little plastic cover, a little, high paper cover, something so it's underneath, so that you can pull it out, unlock it, and then it slides back, fall back in underneath. So if it does rain or anything, it stays dry, which would then keep it from freezing.
Could you put it in a Ziploc bag?
Yeah, that'll work.
You could do that too. And then we can also
That's
oil
easy.
it. I think we could do a second oil, because those are oilable. You can put
Yeah.
oil in them. So we can put in an extra squirt.
We
of
use
WD-40.
WD-40. We just squirt them.
Right. Excuse me. So we could do an extra one just so it's got much more, which keeps it more liquid and open during that time.
How long?
Okay, so then we just have to remember next year to leave those locks on. I wouldn't leave them on the whole winter.
I go to like December 1st, maybe. What was?
Yeah.
Did you say what was taken?
The stuff that she had waiting for Thanksgiving, her Brussels sprouts again, collards again. This was twice it happened. So, and I told her, there's no reason why we can't do that. I just want to make sure that, it's not going to be like you're going to show up there and not be able to get the lock off. But if we have a plan for keeping it dryish.
Yeah, I think we can do that at least till, either the beginning of the new year or even just in December. It depends on what people have left.
Right. Yeah. Once
if
December
it's mostly
hits.
Thanksgiving and stuff. I know that there is some winter spinach out there, but I don't think a lot of people are going to know that and can just leave it there.
Yeah. And once it gets colder, not a lot of people are out looking around.
Right. Because there's
Which
nothing really there.
Yeah.
I think it's probably
unless they're really hungry, in which case, they should get some spinach, I guess.
I still have collards.
What?
I still have collards.
Yes, and they'll last all winter. That's the good thing about them.
Kale,
They're so
will too.
delicious.
All my kale is doing good.
So we'll keep those locks on later into the season, maybe into December. Sabrina, we do need to make a date for a town board update for our 2020 season. So if you can just look ahead and send me a date, couple dates you think might be good. So those are all my communications. Does anyone have any communications they need to share?
Yeah, I need some help on, you guys, anybody know about omens?
Omens?
About what?
I dropped a quart jar of pickled beets on the floor. Does that mean I'm gonna have a red letter day?
I knew something funny was coming.
I had a feeling that was
Like
going to
a
be a
red
joke.
floor day, Dave.
Yeah.
It's,
Good.
yeah,
I was
it's been an
trying,
interesting evening.
I'm trying to make something good out of something bad, so thanks for the help.
You always do, Dave. That's your special talent. You're a superhero that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Merry Christmas red at the Boyer house.
Oh,
Does anyone have any other communications to share? Or sad things that happened to them with their pickled beets tonight?
I don't even like them.
Aw.
apparently they don't like you either.
That's what I was gonna say.
My
It's
favorite.
time for public participation. Do we have any members of the public who are joining us tonight? All right,
They're hunkered down.
sounds good. Okay, under action items, we have thank you cards. Nancy got the thank you cards to Carol, and Carol,
What?
did you finish up all the thank you cards? Or are you still working on them?
Oh, no, they're all done.
Oh,
They were
yes,
mailed.
they're all done.
They were mailed the day after I
Sabrina,
got
let me
them.
get away from.
Way to go. So we got all our thank you cards done from the last, probably
Sabrina sent an email with
6
the-
or 7 weeks, 6 or 7 months of thank you cards that we had on
Picked up.
on tap. So I don't remember the list.
Yeah,
But,
they're done. They done.
okay.
Sabrina,
Or I guess, oh, no, I know they're done because I got a thank you note from Debbie Draw.
Oh,
Okay.
You
That was-
appreciated us writing her.
Thank you note for the.
That's good. That was from, actually, the thank you notes were from the pasta dinner, right?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
sent us two. She sent one about
All right, we're up to
how to hook up to the meeting and the second.
financials. Sabrina, I have the 2021 budget that I can show, and then I can send it to you once everybody takes a look at it. But what do we have left on 2020? You sent it out, right? I got it here.
So, you have $210.10 left.
wow.
So we'll probably try to pick up another electric trimmer or other electric.
Hoses or-
Yeah, actually, I probably should have given an update on that in the communications. I forgot about the solar purchase. I'm so sorry.
Well, this is a good time for it.
This is a good time because it's the budget. Speaking of the budget, we
Got a
did
quick-
go, yes.
Got a quickie. That was a call from Gordy, and he didn't get the email to get in on the meeting. So I know Sabrina might check to make sure he's on the email list.
Okay.
Okay,
I don't know if you can send it to him
Did he
now.
get the agenda? Because I sent it to everybody who got the agenda.
He said he got the one with the budget on it, but he couldn't
Yeah.
find the one with the connection for the Zoom meeting.
I can try to forward it to him real quick. Let me see.
Okay,
Well,
thanks,
that
sorry.
was a few days previous, so he might not have looked back for.
Santa's Zach.
yeah. Okay, so we're back to the budget and talking about the budget purchases that we recently did. We purchased the solar panel kit, the inverter, and the mounts from Home Depot. We purchased a new hose to run from the hydrant to the main line at the front gate there, because that hose really had pretty much fallen apart. We purchased Ryobi batteries and 3 Ryobi battery operated electric trimmers that can be powered by our solar. And those are only about 4.5 pounds each. So we went with the ones that were the lightest so that any of the folks that are at our garden might have a better chance of being able to handle them.
How much
So-
how much are the batteries?
So I'll read all the prices out to you. The solar kit with the inverter and the mounts was $1,133.54. And this, I can't tell you how much the batteries were, but I can tell you how much the hose, the Ryobi batteries, and the 3 trimmers were all together. That was $245.98.
I think if I remember, they were like for the battery and a trimmer and the charger, it was like
They
$69,
were on sale. Yeah,
$69,
awesome.
regularly 99 or something like
So we
that.
got 3 for like $248 plus that heavy duty hose. So,
So do
And-
we have backup batteries or will that?
well, now I think what maybe we can do with that 210 is buy
By the backup batteries.
some
Yeah.
extra, maybe 1 or 2, because they're kind of expensive when you buy the batteries separately.
We,
Right,
So,
these are the ones that were identified by Jimmy that are the ones that pull the least, that would charge better on a solar system. They were lighter, and what's nice is once they're charged, they turn off. So that's why they were identified before. We reviewed them, and Dot and I kind of identified these again to use them. I think if we have extra money, we can get another set of batteries.
yeah, that would be a good idea. And Larry helped us figure out what from Home Depot we wanted to get. So as soon as that kit is in next week, we can get everything and store it up in the shed. And then work on putting that together.
If you can let me know by tomorrow what you want to get. I'm in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday next week,
Okay.
and then not before the new year. So
Did the solar kit come in?
not yet.
Okay, because I know you said it was supposed to come in next week.
Yep.
I mean, I can come in Monday or Tuesday or send, my husband or one of my sons up there to get it.
Well,
No,
no, I
that-
think
no, I mean
just to
what you
place
wanna
the order. The rest
buy.
of the order.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll need
thinking
to
of
buy
picking
it
up.
next
Okay.
week.
All right,
And
I'll
the-
try to get
and
that.
the rest of
I'll
the
try
month.
to get that taken care of tomorrow. Okay? I'll try to
Do
get that
we
work
wanna
done tomorrow.
Store these in our garden, or would we be better off storing them, since this is a public thing, and then we're going to watch this? Would we be better storing all this equipment at the rec center or at the main garage with the rest of our tools that are
Are you
stored?
talking about just the winter storage for now before we put it all up?
Yeah,
I
because
see.
here we
Okay.
have $1,500 that we've just spent and just announced it, that's going to be in a shed on property that's accessible.
Yeah, because it's got no lock on the gate.
So
There's
I
a lock
thought-
on the shed.
Yeah, I know, but
Sure.
I still think we should store that elsewhere.
Yeah, I do too.
All right.
So we put it to use and it's secured, because it will be all secured once we're in there and all the panels are up. They're up on the roof. If they're gonna climb the roof and unscrew them, have at it. But I think until it's all secured, it's all in their packaging, I think we'll be better off storing it somewhere.
Is it big?
I have no idea how big it's gonna be when it comes in.
So
Right.
Remember you and I had this discussion, Sabrina?
yeah. So let's talk about that offline because
Yeah,
I have an idea.
Okay.
okay,
I just think that might be safer.
all right, that's a good idea, Nancy.
Just
Okay,
considering we just talked about having all vegetables stolen, so
yeah,
just to keep them to move on.
right. That costs a little bit more than Brussels sprouts. So, yeah,
Sorry, I don't know if that brings up another question. Going into next year, do we need a more secure way to lock that equipment up? Because a lot of people know the combinations to the shed, and battery operated equipment is very desirable. So do we need to think about locking it up inside the shed because I don't know how many people are actually going to use it. So does everybody need to know the combination of that, or would we be better off?
well, I think the idea, Mark, is that people have access to a trimmer so they can trim around the edge of their beds. That's why we bought the like really light ones. But I see what you're saying. And I don't know.
Is
It's a good-
thievery covered under insurance under the town, Sabrina?
I assume.
You could do bike lock type things on them, I think, and,
Could you buy a little lockbox and just put the batteries in it and then put a different combination on that?
Yeah, I mean, our gardeners are gonna have to know the combination if they need a battery. I think I think what Mark is saying, and I get it, is that lock, the combination is known by everyone.
Right.
And, obviously people come and go, and there's no way of us, being sure that, those are as secure as they can be. Now that we've spent this money on equipment, what would be a better or a more secure
that
way to keep them
Actually probably brings up a bigger point that we might want to look at changing that combination annually.
annually?
yeah.
I was just thinking the same.
Wonder if we keep that locked and they would have a sign up sheet when they want to open it.
Well, I think changing the combination annually would make a big difference, because then we know only the people that we've given it to have the combination.
Yeah, and they're new
Yeah.
that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's
not a hard thing to do with those locks to change the combinations.
Right. I think that might be the best idea. And one of the options is if we do change the locks combination, we could also have like a bike lock on the, like, or maybe a little cage area that's locked and nailed into the wall. So the batteries are in there that has to be unlocked to get a new battery, because we still need to be able to have them charging.
Right,
can't
but
put 'em in a lockbox.
the garden members need to have access to that.
So what I'm saying is it could be a screen box that's
Right.
affixed to the wood of the shed that
Okay.
can open up with a separate lock. Still the chargers are in there, and they're in there, and they can unlock it, and they would either have a key that everyone would know where it was that year to get into that box. But the only way they could get in there is that new combination to get into the shed, to know where to get that key. So we can come
I'm
up
just
with some-
picturing all the emails I'm gonna get. Done.
I know. I know. Well, we can come up with some solutions, but I think we may want to keep that in mind.
I mean, I want it to be secure, but I also don't want it to be a hardship for our members to be able to get to the equipment that they want to use in that moment,
I think, I think we can find something that's pretty easy, but I really think probably having an adjustable yearly change in our lock code would be a huge improvement.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's easy to do, and that way the people who have signed up for that year will get it, and no one else will.
Right.
And that solves a huge portion right there. And if we
Yeah.
keep the lock on longer, and maybe we keep the lock on all year round, we'll find a way to keep them from freezing. And that may be an
Yeah.
option that we're gonna have to do. Unfortunately, but we're
Yeah.
the world we're in, unfortunately.
Yep.
But I think it's a good idea, Greg, so, or
Mark.
Mark. I always do that.
Okay.
I call Greg Mark and Mark Greg. I always do that. I'm
You
looking
just
right
don't
at
have
you,
it.
and
It's okay.
I always do that to you. I look
All
at you,
right,
I
yeah.
know who you are, but I say the same wrong name every time.
I'm not
Um,
insulted, but I can't speak for Greg, so.
Or can you?
Well, can you? Yes, I don't know. Deep down.
All right, we are now up to bed registration for 2021. Sabrina, how many people do we have who are pre-registered? How many?
40, sorry.
40. Wow.
Yeah, yep,
Oh, that's awesome.
All right.
yeah.
And I actually met someone at Wegmans the other day, I have to tell you, but I'll just tell you offline, so I'm not like telling names on the Zoom here. So, but I have to remember to tell you. So we have 2021 budget. So I have the 2021 budget in front of me that I kind of, put together. I don't think I'm allowed to share my screen. right? Am I? Oh, maybe I am. Okay. So I'll just do that. Is everyone okay with that?
There you go, yeah.
There you go.
All right, great. So I just went from last year's numbers. I lowered our fundraising amount a bit just because I don't really know
We don't know what we're gonna be able to do.
what that's gonna happen to look like. Moved a lot of money out of fence and maintenance repair because we already bought a lot. And I put quite a bit of money into water repair system because our water system definitely needs repair. We bought that new hose at the front end, but also some of our some of our faucets, our spigots.
Some of the
They're
wood
really
that's supporting them are gonna have to be replaced.
yeah. We did replace 2 this year,
Yep.
and 3 or I don't know how many broken faucets. My husband replaced, I think 3. So I put that there. For the castor oil bowl spray, I put that right in here at 200 because that stuff's like 199, but we need to find a place we can get it through the town because it can only be found on like Amazon. And I have called around. It's not an easy thing to get your hands on.
But it works.
It works. Still some solar items. It works until the fall.
Yep.
And then the bowls come back. Still some money in solar.
I mentioned putting some money in because we don't, as we put it up, I'm sure there's gonna be things. just
Yeah,
like
there's going to
any
be
project
costs there.
That we're gonna need a part here, we're gonna need this, we're gonna need some
Right.
stuff. So until we
And
put it
this-
together, some extra money in there.
This structure maintenance, paint stain, this would all be part of like maybe, we still have to move the shed. We have to put up a couple of fence panels behind our shelter so it looks pretty. So I don't know. Does anyone have any questions, thoughts, comments, needs, problems?
It looks good. I think.
I got a 1. It looks good. So that's
I'm hoping we
good.
do, I'm hoping we're able to fundraise this year. I've got a couple of little projects that I would like to, maybe bring up next meeting for ideas of future.
okay. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen if we feel good about that budget. Sabrina, I'll send that to you unless there's
Okay.
something else that ends up coming up. So I don't know. You have an update, Nancy, with the compost sifters?
Yes, I do. Sammy Goodwin, who is our Boy Scout who's been working on designing compost sifters, came over a couple weeks ago with his dad. He's been working with his grandfather, and they came. It's pretty nice. He had a lot of engineered type projects and stuff. There's 2 sifters they're making. They're making one that is larger and a little more robust, that is still portable within the area of our compost. We can move it around, we can put it to the side, but we can kind of move it in front of each bed. But it's going to be a little more robust. It's going to be set up in either a TP system or a square system with wheels that can be rolled around. The wheelbarrow will be able to come in from the side. Can have 2 people that can shake it back and forth, and we'll have chains. And they're going to make it so that the sifter, which will be a hardwire mesh, either doubled over based on what thickness of the holes that we'd like. He actually may make it interchangeable, so we'd have one with wider holes for the first sift and then a second one for a smaller sift. He's going to make it so that the metal can be replaced because it will take a beating. And instead of having to throw the one away and have to build a new frame, he's going to make it so it can be dropped down, a new metal piece could be put back in. So it's kind of a neat little design. So he started working on it. His goal, he needs to have it finished by March. So his goal is to have a lot of this constructed and worked on. I know he's going on searching of materials and stuff. He's going to try to do as much as he can, but I did tell him in January, hopefully we'll have a little budget if he needs help. The second sifter is a lighter, more portable, and maybe metal and a teepee, and a little bit smaller so that it can literally sit or go right over the beds. So that if you want to, you're kind of been having our beds for years, maybe you want to do a little sift and recover your beds a little bit and kind of clean them out. Maybe we've got some beds that have always needed a lot of cleaning and stuff. This way you can sift a lot of it and clean out. So there'll be a portable one as well. And he's looking to have that done with a metal that can be just literally folded up, unhooked and folded up. And so someone could literally carry it, set it up over their bed and do a sift. So those are his two projects. We've seen the designs. They look great. He is now off trying to source materials. For those who are listening, they're looking for, maybe 10-foot, metal pipes. I told him, he's got a couple names. I told him to check out a couple of the recycling centers because a lot of times they do donate things for Boy Scouts to use from their inventory. And a lot of times they have those long metal poles. Looking maybe for chains, if anyone has wood or hardware cloth or anything like that. He's looking for some of it, but he is writing letters to both Lowe's, I think, and Home Depot. That's the kind of the go-to for the Boy Scouts. They go to those two places for projects. So he's working pretty hard on it. So we'll see.
Another option on those pipes would be fencing companies.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'll mention that to him as well. I didn't think of that one. That's right. It could be high enough.
Yeah.
If you want to pass along for me, I have all the piping that was left over from an old portable garage, Harbor Freight portable garage. And I transported it to my property in Canandaigua with thoughts that I might set it up there, but if it'll serve his needs, and he can certainly stop in any Harbor Freight and see what they look like. I have all the piping from one of those.
All right, I'll mention that too, because that might work. And because we were thinking, a pipe would be much lighter to move than something that's pressure treated 2x4s. And so that would be a great idea. So I'll mention him to take a look at that as well. And we'll see if we can get him set up. He's kind of excited about it. He put a lot of work into it. His designs, I don't have pictures. He's going to send them to me and then I'll email them out. He did a lot of figuring out. I think his grandfather has some engineering background because it was very well drawn, all numbered. He's pretty proud of himself, and I think he should be. So,
Well,
If he can come to a meeting, that would be great too, because then he
maybe I
can
can
present
get him
it to
in.
us.
Maybe I can get him in for the January meeting. He may have a little bit part of it even built because his goal is to be fully finished because his birthday I think is in March, so he needs to have it finished. So and then he said that way it'll be ready for spring for you guys. So I'll see if I can get him to come to the March meeting. I mean the January meeting.
Would it be, I was thinking about this before you start talking about the portable one. Just because even a portable one might be more than people want to pick up and move if they're only got a little bit to do. Could he possibly build like a 2-foot by 2-foot square thing that we could just hang up somewhere and people could come and pick it up? Because I know in the compost bins, we're still seeing a lot of soil coming in on the bottom of plants. And if there was just something quick and easy, somebody could grab, and take to their bed and just bang stuff off on it.
I think he can do that. I can talk to him about that because I actually have one I bought at one of the little, thrift store. Tool thrift. And it's a small one and a portable one that was so he actually asked if we did want a couple like that. So maybe I can talk to him about making, maybe we can even, I've got some wood too. We can give him a couple and he can build a couple portable ones that can just be, they're about this, it was about this big, I think 2 feet by 3 feet. It weighs nothing. And it had little handles. So I'll mention that as well. If he has time, that might be a nice thing to do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
would
could
help.
go a long way with lowering the amount of soil we get in the compost.
Yeah, we get a lot of soil.
Yeah, we just need to educate the people through our sprout to let them know.
Mm-hmm.
Take that to their bed instead of leaving it in the compost pile.
We could
Yeah.
do that. We can also do, maybe when spring comes and we can social distance we can do some demo on how to use them, and maybe we can even make a couple of them so that we can even hang them right inside the garden. So they're already hung up right there, so you can just go and get them. They don't even have to be locked up. They can just be hung on the side of the shed. That way they see them, so they'll maybe be more apt to use them because they'll be maybe we can hang them right on the shed inside since it's going to be locked. it could be hung right on the side of the shed, so. Yes, I'll mention that to him and see if we can get him to add those to his project list.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sounds great. All right, critter update, winter trapping. It's not technically winter till Monday, so I haven't been out there setting any traps. I don't know if Mark has gone out because we pretty much the trappers. But I have no doubt that I'll get out there at some point and set some traps up. And if we need to get more traps, we're probably gonna need to buy some new ones. They don't last forever.
Well,
Those
maybe
springs start to go. And
we
I
may
know,
wanna-
Mark, you try to fix them, but
we might want to try to order some with some of the money we have at Home Depot.
Yeah.
You know, put that in with, when we buy the extra batteries, if there's some money, we get a box of those as well.
yeah.
Just so we have them. We use them.
So I put pasta dinner planning on here, but I don't know that we're really planning a pasta dinner right now. I know that you have in your thought, Nancy, the idea of having a takeout. And I don't want to spend too much time talking about it only because we don't even know if the rec department is going to allow it.
Right.
So,
So what my thought was, is we would do exclusively takeout only, pasta dinner, 2 options. We had gone to one recently through a Rotary where I think it was $8. $8 a dinner. It was $8 a dinner and it included pasta, meatball sausage, sauce, bread and butter, and a cookie, I think, rolls and a cookie. For $8, they had them all in the containers, all ready to go. And literally you could pre-order, but you drive $8 and they literally had one person taking money and another person running and filling bags. That would probably be the only option we would be able to do.
it's definitely the only option we're going to be able to do.
But again, we'll have to check. I know that
Yeah.
the kitchen is being used at the rec center for some projects. I've seen it. It was a write-up just recently. So I know it is being used for
Yeah,
some things.
our staff, yep. We're doing takeout lunches on Tuesdays and
Right,
Thursdays.
takeout. So I was
Okay.
wondering, if maybe this is the same option we could do as a takeout dinner one day during the week as a fundraiser. Just pasta dinner, same thing, no salads, just, and so we make it a little less expensive, $8, and would just be bread and butter. There would just be a certified crew of cooks in there, and that's it. We'd just sell it and just kind of have a drive-through. So it'd be people bundled up, running back and forth, taking money, and we'd probably pre-sell as many tickets as we can, and then just,
Yeah,
Yeah,
how
well-
would that happen though, Sabrina? Is your office open to walk into?
No, they
Right.
have to call,
Mhm.
and they can order them over the phone, or if they really want to come in, they just, when they get to the door, they call and we come to the door and let them in.
Okay,
but also I think everyone could, you know, be a little more aggressive and maybe try to physically have one sell, 5 to 10 tickets. And you
right,
know,
I mean, you can't go door to door.
no, well, we can talk to a lot of our friends. And,
Yeah.
a lot of people are taking out 90%, everything is takeout. I mean, what better way to
Yeah,
kind of
it's
support,
true.
there's a lot of places that are doing these meal things. So the biggest thing is, talking to my friend who has the certification, because she'll have to come in and work with us. She does work at a place where she is required to have a COVID test once a week because that's where she is. So we're nice and healthy. But, we can, we'd have to have a crew that, were, like 1 or 2 people in the kitchen, and then the rest would be runners. So it'd be a smaller group.
Would we have to have COVID tests, Sabrina?
No, no.
Okay.
No, I think if we're all, and we'll make sure we just, make sure we're all healthy. And I mean, we've been
Well-
pretty lucky. We're all being good, but we'd have, have to be honest, make sure that, if you're not feeling well, don't come in. But we'd have a small group, and I think we'd still all wear masks, even with us cooking and stuff. We'll all have masks on. I have a bunch of shields I can bring in that I can have new ones made. We make them at RIT. I'll see if I can secure a few so we could have shields, and then a mask, which would just add to the benefit of, and especially the people cooking and the safety of everything. So we can talk about this, but I think if we did do it, it would just be a very strict model. a pasta dinner takeout with sauce, meatballs and sausage. I already talked with the supplier of the meatballs and sausage for us, and they're willing to do it again today because we ran and had dinner. He was cooking. He said that they would be able to help us again, so not to worry. So we'd be able to maybe up it up, whether we could include a sausage and a couple meatballs, so it'd be a little different. The pasta, rigatoni type style sauce, and then a roll and butter in a plastic bag, and maybe we can, just a simple cookie, like a chocolate chip cookie or something. And I think it's a great deal for $8. It would be a good benefit, and it's a to-go meal, So that's an option. So
I don't know what the expense is and the return on it. Last year was what, $900?
right, our expenses were nothing. Everything's donated.
Right. So it's $8.99 in revenue.
Uh-oh,
You froze.
we lost Glenn.
If you put a bit of time into its campaign and
We lost you.
You're back, Glenn.
Are you back? All right.
my connection is horrible for some reason. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you repeat yourself, please?
So would it make sense to keep the socially distant part and maybe do a GoFundMe kind of?
Oh my gosh.
A GoFundMe.
So
I think you said a GoFundMe kind of thing, right?
Right.
Right. So if we have X amount of people and we ask X amount of people within our group to reach out to 3 more people to donate $3, we're talking $2,000, right?
We could do something like that.
Right.
Yeah, last year we didn't make as much. The year before we did $1,500. So it's a lot of times it depends on the Boy Scout that pulls the job. So a lot of times the Boy Scout helps with the pasta dinner to fund the next project in line. So if the Boy Scouts very ambitious, as our first one was, $1,500, $1,600, we made a lot of money that first pasta dinner. The second pasta dinner, not quite as ambitious, worked very hard, had a fantastic project, but a little shyer than the other one. So, I think it's, so it's the networking is, depending on which Boy Scout happens to do it. Now this one, I don't believe we have a Boy Scout in process because a lot of our projects right now are kind of small. So we could do something different if people, a GoFundMe might be an option.
Yeah,
Well-
I'm not sure what. Go ahead, Glenn.
Or possibly just spreading it out and reaching it out to the community there and saying, hey, part of our budget is fundraising. We can't do it in this time. Would you be willing, I'm thinking more of the Girl Scout kind of cookie model, why don't you raise $15 for the garden and reach out to everybody there and see what happens, right?
That's an option. Now, one of the difference this year, and we haven't gotten to, is we don't have a premium project this year. In the past, our first fundraiser was primarily for, well, it actually was solar, and then we appropriated it, and it was for also the
Shelter?
gazebo, which was, it kind of benefited from 2 different fundraising activities, the plant sale and the pasta dinner for that gazebo. This year's last one was for the garden, that we raised enough money from this to afford all the plants in the new forest garden. The soil, and we put in real nice mulch instead of, because we didn't want seeds. We didn't want we just didn't need any weed seeds. So we bought a good mulch for the final topping. So it covered all the soil, mulch, some of the plants.
So
some of
the fundraiser we'd be having this year wouldn't have we don't
Why
have an
we're doing
allotted
it.
project for it right now.
Right. So what helps us with a fundraiser is that we have a reason what we're doing. Instead of just to make money, we're funding a project, so.
We
this year
can't make money.
don't
We're
have a-
not a money-making operation.
Right, we're paying bills, but what it is we funded a project, you know? So we come up with another project. We have some small ones. We've got the Sifters, we have the ramp. I think we're gonna do are we doing the fencing, not fencing, but the little garden in the front? Someone's gonna work on that. Did you have someone lined up for that?
Yeah, but those are things that we already have materials for.
Right, that's
too.
what I'm saying, and right, but also they're small. I don't think
Yeah.
we have a bigger project in the
No,
works.
not right now.
I mean, so maybe we skipped a fundraise, or we have room for 2 more beds back there? They do take a while and they do cost more time than money, but we could put in, one of the designs was to also have a butterfly garden in the way back. So there's room enough for the big mower to go behind it. And then there's this curved not butterfly, but pollinator garden back there. That would need building and funding. So, I mean, we could do that and then maybe we all build it together. I don't know, instead of having it a Boy Scout project or Girl Scout project, we have it a garden project where a lot of it is schlepping soil and wood chips,
Yeah.
cardboard.
I also, when you were talking, Nance, I
Mhm.
just thought of this only because we were unable to have any spring dinner. We didn't have a fall dinner.
Right.
We had nothing to say hello to our new gardeners, except, I mean, I did the orientations, but it was very sparse in that manner. And because we still have all the materials, we have the pasta, we have the sauce, we have everything.
We have it all.
It was all given to us for free and we still have plenty. Maybe we
First
do
thing
a
we don't have
takeout
is meat.
dinner for our members.
Well, that'd be a great idea. We could just do
And
it.
it's not a dinner. This is just me thinking community-wise and not thinking about money. Maybe we're just gonna have a takeout dinner for our members and say, hi, welcome to the season. Here's your pasta dinner. Here's your little newsletter. Here's the combination to the new combination to the left.
Actually,
Get them
I
to
love
come
that.
in for a
I
free
love that.
meal to give them a few things.
I
What do you
think that's a
think?
great idea. I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo!
It's all about
So how about
member
parlaying
engagement.
that?
I think that's a great idea.
So
What,
we
Glenn?
could,
So how about parlaying that with food pantry, right? If we have it, if members can sponsor something, food.
Oh, his connection's killing me.
okay, so food pantry, is that what you're saying?
It
Oh, no.
Your connection's
Glenn's
only been,
frozen.
Glenn, when you start to talk.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. So a food pantry, we could do that. We could do, everyone bring a non-perishable food item.
So what I'm thinking is having people sponsor. I mean, we all
Hey, Greg?
have the material, and reach out and ask if someone wants to serve.
Oh, no.
Glenn, actually, if he comes back on, tell him just to come on voice. I think the video and the voice is too much for his system. If he just goes to voice, we should be able to be fine.
I'd
He'll be
really
back.
love to hear what he's saying. I'm sure it's a great
You know what,
idea.
well, why don't we talk about
It is
your idea?
killing me. Nope,
come
here he
back
comes.
in.
He's coming back. He's coming back.
Tell him to take his monitor off and just go to voice.
Or try using the chat feature.
Gone again.
Talking about, if we can set something up and try to either send something to everybody or organize some kind of a fundraiser. I have connections with both the Rotary and the Raise a Glass Foundation. They do a local wine competition, spirits competition, and beer competition. And then the leftovers after the competition they use in fundraising for nonprofits. I could probably get some of that if we can figure out a way to either.
Well, I know that one has already been appropriated because I'm on the Rotary and I'm on the committee that's using it right now. So I know it's already being appropriated by Hakamo and the Rotary, 169 bottles or cases or something. I know it's a huge
It was a
amount.
lot. It was a lot of cases. I saw it.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of it. So I know
Glenn?
that that's going to be a sale.
Glenn, can you do audio only?
Or like I say, try the chat feature at the bottom.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe
Oh,
talking,
yes.
just talking and no.
Chat only? You still hearing me?
Yeah,
Yes.
and just keep your video off.
Yep. So, I was thinking with food pantry, I mean, we have the material. If it could be something that members sponsor, do that, it kind of hits kind of two pools right there.
So you mean sponsor a meal for someone from the food pantry as well? Is that what you said? We missed, there was one little cutout there.
Right. So if people want to pay $8 to sponsor a meal through the food pantry, right? So that meal would go through the food pantry to people in need, and it's a donation from people for it.
So that so the food pantry would get the food? So the food
Correct.
pantry would get
And-
that meal?
Right.
We might have
And
to
maybe the pasta dinner would go through them and people would buy it for the food pantry.
The only problem with the food pantry, because we had a big fundraiser with the Rotary and we had a lot of food left over, the food pantry does not have refrigeration. So it would have to literally be picked up the day we're making them so that the food pantry people could get it. And I know that about a third of the people that are receiving food on the food pantry are having it delivered. So if we did it, it'd have to be, I don't know if a meal could be given because they don't have refrigeration. They only have pickouts on Wednesdays. I like your idea. I think we may just have to, I don't know if a meal itself can be done because we offered up about 100 chicken dinners and the food pantry couldn't take it because they had no way of keeping it until
Yep.
the one day pickup.
And
So we might have to find another, I like the idea.
Yeah, I was thinking more delivery. Wednesday delivery, it's kind of you donate it for the Wednesday delivery and it's a drive up pickup kind of thing. To your point, what you were thinking, but I don't know if they have the capability to do that, but.
Right, well, maybe we'd have to make their deliveries in the morning. They're done by 10, I think. So it'd have to be prepared for a lunch. I mean, we can talk to them about it. I know that most of their stuff is brought to them. I don't think they take in food. because-
Perishables,
Yeah,
except for produce on Wednesdays, and then they bring it out that day.
right, yeah.
That's what we
so-
do our,
Because we had 100 meals, we ended up giving some to the police department, fire department. I know, a couple of places, and then the rest went to the mission, Open Door Mission, I think the rest went to. So, I mean, so there are options. I mean, it's nice to keep it local.
Yeah.
So the option of sponsoring, I mean, we could, instead of having the pasta dinner, we could break it up into family-sized bags and donate all the bags and pasta. I mean, that's an option. But our
Yep.
sauces are this big. We're not gonna, they're big giant
Yeah.
ones. We can't break those up into, family size. I like the idea. I think one of the options is instead of sponsoring a dinner, we could give away, actually, one of the options is we could sponsor dinner. Actually, I can add to it that they could buy a ticket and give it to those families who are coming in to pick up their food to come the day of the event. That's so they get a ticket. So someone could sponsor the meals ahead of time. We get our count of how many people are coming, and we have our pasta dinner for fun for our gardeners. And in the same time, as a sponsor, as a donation, we make enough dinners for those people who want to drive by and pick up a free dinner sponsored by somebody from, do you know what I'm saying? So that they come the
Yeah.
night we have it versus us bringing it to them in the morning. So we give them
As
a
long as
receipt.
they have transportation, they'll be able to come in and get the meal.
Right, and I think it would be given to the ones that don't have, aren't getting deliveries. So if they're able to come in and get a meal, they probably can come in and pick up 4 meals. So that's an
Mhm.
idea, Glenn, which is kind of still plays on yours, but it would be a sponsored meal, but they'd get a receipt for it and they'd have to come and get it on our event. So that could work too
That's-
as well.
That's a nice hybrid. I like that.
Yeah,
You know, that
it
way
is.
it's still, it's because that way
We
they,
try not to say the word hybrid around here, but yes, that's true.
we try to avoid it. That's our lives right now. But that way kind of, it does help the family have a hot meal. It allows us to give back to the community. We could still, you know, do a little fundraising. You know, so kind of, it's a win-win. It just would be on the night that we decide to do it on, for them to come and pick it up. So
Right,
that would potentially
I
work.
bet we could probably hash this out and bring it up in January and
See what we
maybe,
can come up with.
you know, just have the, you know, have the specifics more, you know, worked out so that we can understand better how that would work and talk to somebody at the food pantry. I know we have a garden member that we can talk to who works with the food
A couple
pantries.
garden members, and then
Yep.
one
Yeah.
of, on the Rotary, we have a member, I think now, who's part of the food
Yep.
pantry as well. So we can talk to them. We have Tuesday meeting coming up.
Just real quick, just because it might be a hardship for people to make it there on the night, whatever night we pick, maybe when you talk to the food pantry, you could see if there's a meal kit that they could put together, or, and then they could say, okay, it's $8 for this meal kit, and we could sell tickets that way. Because I'm just not sure that, you
Mhm.
know, giving people these tickets and then telling them they got to show up on a particular night to pick it up is going to work for all of them.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. I mean, I
Yeah.
think what we're all kind of trying, you know, do we need it? That's what we're all kind of working on. So that's actually a good idea too. The other option is we have our pasta dinner as a garden activity. And then everyone, as a garden activity, brings in donations to maybe make up these boxes of pasta dinners that then we can give to the food bank so that they can give, you know, box of pasta, jar of sauce. I know what else, you know, whatever you can do. bag
Yeah,
of
whatever
salad,
we can do. Yep.
and kind of sponsor something that way. So, I mean, I think it's a great idea to kind of have, you know, 2 birds with 1 stone type activity. We can have kind of a
Right.
fun activity with our garden. Since we do a lot with the food bank, we can somehow incorporate it. And then find a way to give back and also get to meet our new gardeners and the gardeners that we haven't seen because we've all been.
Yeah, we can definitely make this into a really good, you know, event, not just for our gardeners, but also to help the community. And I think that's a really good part because it's a big part of our mission too. And coming into this new year, you know, there's going to be a lot more families that are in need. So I think it's
Right,
awesome.
absolutely.
I love it.
I think, excuse me, I think it's a great idea. That way it also gets rid of the stress of having to sell tickets.
Right.
It gets rid of the
Uh,
stress of me making all the signage and all that stuff.
Right.
Which makes life easier for me. So, and that way nothing doesn't go to waste and we can help, you know.
Right, we can help. So we'll put that on the agenda in January, and I just want, in the interest of time, to move on to member guidebook, because I don't want to go through the whole guidebook tonight, obviously, because that's a huge undertaking. But I know that there are some things that people have suggested that needed to be added to the guidebook. And I want to go over the guidebook again before January, and have it, you know, just updated and revised for Sabrina. So what I'm planning on doing is sending it all out to you. And the version that I have in my house, Sabrina, has 2018 as our last revision. Now, I don't know if that's the version you have as the last revision.
I
But it
think
might
so.
be-
That sounds right. Yeah.
Right. So what I'd like to do is send it all out to all of you. And if you look at it, and you have anything that you think needs to be fixed up, we can fix it up, because going through it point by point is just like, it's an exhaustive experience. I know Chris and I have done it a few times. So I'm thinking if you all read the whole thing, and then you just kind of send the feedback in that you think needs to be in, and remember that obviously it has to be in language that anyone could read, and it also has to be, you know, concise, so it's not overwhelming. I think that would be the best way for us to look over the member handbook. But because we're doing this year the grandfathering in of people that have 2 beds, and no one's going to be allowed to rent 2 beds anymore, so that our membership can kind of expand, I think we have to get that in the guidebook somewhere. That grandfathering clause. I don't know how you do that, but you know, we can figure out the
I think we
language.
put it in on, you know, the pricing that we've done. Do we put the pricing in the handbook?
Yes.
Okay, so the
When I
price-
send out the handbook, if you can find a place where it goes, you can just like send me a
Oh.
message and be like, put it here. And if
Okay.
you know the language you want to put in for the grandfather, you know, send it to me, and then I'll just put it together, and we'll send it out. And please, Nancy, I know that you're a graphic artist, but it's a garden member handbook, and I think it looks really great. But I know that you probably have, when you send your garden handbook that you made in Word to a graphic artist, right?
It's all right. Nope. I'm just looking
know,
for the
I'm just
technical
teasing you.
information.
I'm teasing you.
Yeah.
But I'll send it out to everyone, so that they can see it. And I don't even know the last time all of us have looked at it critically, you know, with a critical eye, not just to reread our rules. So that's going to be coming your way. Equipment winterization is next. I am guessing that all the equipment has been moved out of the shed. I haven't been out to check again, but I don't know. And I know that, you know, it's probably likely that our town workers are busy plowing the streets and, you know, doing things like that. So I appreciate that the folks at DPW, when they can get that equipment winterized and put away for us. And hopefully eventually we'll have a nice battery operated mower and not have to worry about all the gas and such. And the held items. So I put moving the shed, hardscape around the shelter, near the parking lot all together, because that kind of is all one area of interest. And moving the shed, we don't know what's going on with that. And maybe we find somebody who has equipment who can help us with that. But now it's, you know, now it's winter, so it have to be something we have to do early on.
Yeah, I'll have to try to, maybe in early March, talk to our DPW head and get that, you know, scheduled with him before their season starts.
Yeah, just so then we can like put up that fence, and then we can have our shelter opening, which I'd really like to do for our Boy Scout, for our Rotary, and all the people who help with that. It's just been
Right.
so,
We want to open the garden too, and the one in the back, kind of the same time,
yeah,
because they sponsored a lot of the fruit trees that are in there.
yeah,
So it'd be kind of nice to
it
Make
would
it
be
all pretty.
nice.
all pretty and beautiful.
All pretty and beautiful. That's what we're looking for.
Hey, Dot,
Uh-huh.
how many usable chairs do we have left for around those other picnic benches? I know those plastic ones are pretty shot.
Yeah, not many.
That may be
Yeah.
something we might want to buy in the
Yeah, I
spring.
think so. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
put out a call for free ones.
Yeah. We tend to pick up free ones. I mean, I know in the spring, we're gonna have to throw out some in the trash because they're
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
broken up. They get brittle from the winters.
Yeah.
The plastic gets brittle. So yeah, we don't have a lot left, definitely. I mean, we have the seating underneath the shelter, but there's definitely a lot of chairs that fell apart. Other held items, we got the hardware cloth in the shed, which obviously we know Larry was working on that, and now it's cold, so cold. But we know where the materials are, and then the gutters and the rain barrels also. The materials are there. It's just a matter of, obviously as volunteers, when we have our time, we have our time, and I'm sure it'll get done. I think that's the great thing about being a volunteer. Is that you're going to get it done. Sometimes the timeline's just,
Adjust.
yeah, it's just got to get adjusted, right? Then there's our ribbon cutting, which we talked about, which is still held, and bat houses and owl nesting boxes. So, and all of that is really contingent on the spring. But now we have the spring to look forward to, which I love. I love looking forward to the spring.
I'm waiting for my seed catalogs.
Seed catalogs. Yeah. Is there any old business or new business to bring up? Old or new? New business? I'm drinking from my giant water bottle.
I think we're good.
We're good?
I'm looking forward to maybe having being able to have a little more of our activities. I think that's one of the nicest part of the garden is that we get
I know, it's the worst part that I miss is not being able to be with my gardeners and not being able to,
I think something to mention is that hopefully in early January, we're going to have a new website for the town. And Dot has updated our FAQs for that. So it'll be, the same information will be there. It's just be a fresh look.
very nice.
that sounds awesome. Is there a deadline on the Penfield Recreation, the next brochure? Yeah,
Next one will be spring. So it's going to be mid-February.
okay,
The deadline. Because
all right.
hopefully we do classes.
About what I'm gonna do there. Think about it. All right, anything else for the good of the order tonight?
No, I guess this is our last meeting till the new 2021.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Kind of a happy new year, happy holiday, Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa. What else? I know there's 21 of them holidays in this next month. So
Wow,
you
that's a
all,
lot of holidays. How about happy solstice? The solstice is
oh,
on
the
Monday.
solstice coming up.
Yep.
Yep.
But c'est la vie to 2020.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
I
exactly.
hope that
Say goodbye
21
to
is not worse.
Right.
We missed out on Gordy's Christmas cookies this year.
Oh
I
my
know,
gosh,
no
Gordy's Christmas-
cookies.
See, all the things, all the little things, 1,000 little things. So I will see you all in the new year, and I am absolutely grateful to always have like the best gardening community on the planet. I just want you to know that. You really are, all
I
of
think we
you.
have a fantastic,
We
I
do.
think we have a
And
Penfield Victory Garden
I-
is a pretty awesome place. with people.
we didn't have anyone who nominated themselves for the officer positions. So
I'm willing to
we'll work on
swap with
that.
Dot if we want to, unless someone wants to step up.
Well,
I'll swap like we did before. We just.
all right, we'll do that in January.
But
We'll do that in
if
January.
someone else wants it, by all means, have at it.
New year, new look,
If
right?
not, I'll toss my name in for whatever is available or needed.
All right, I'm
No,
gonna
that's
adjourn
terrible.
this meeting.
All right.
Meeting adjourned.